Going to move towards the different what we can say cell organelles. So today we are going to study about the next cell organelle, that is plastids. Okay. So what do you mean by plastids? Whether it is related to plants or animals, where we can find these kind of plastids. Very good. Okay. So plastids are the cell organelle which are mainly found in the plant cell. Okay. Plant cell, but it is absent in the animal cell, but in the euglena. Okay. Euglena or euglenoids, these kind of plastid structures are present in the cell. Okay. So tell me one thing, the different color which we observe in the plant, what is the reason for that coloration? How we can get those colors in the plant? Why because of chloroplast green pigmentation is there. Okay. And we also observe the red, orange, yes sir. Okay, red, orange, like this coloration will be there. Why? What is the reason? So today we will study that. Okay. So based on their function, these plastids are again further divided into three categories. Okay. That is plastids. In that, first one, chloroplast. Listen carefully, it's very important. Second one, chromoplast. Third one, leucoplast. So based on their function, the plastids are categorized into three categories. First one is chloroplast, second one is chromoplast, and third one is leucoplast. So tell me, what is the purpose of chloroplast in a plant cell? See, these are the pigments. Okay, these are the pigments which are helpful in giving green color to the plants. Okay, these are the pigments, chloroplast, which are helping in the photosynthesis process, and also the pigment which the plants are having, that is green color, is mainly because of this chloroplast. Okay, so it gives green color to the chloroplast, and it is the site where the photosynthesis takes place. Okay, understood? So these are the carotenoids. Okay, these are the carotenoids which are present in the plant cell, and mainly these are helpful in the green color coloration, and also the chlorophyll pigment is present. Okay. Because of this chlorophyll pigment, the plant is having green coloration. Okay. Because of this chlorophyll pigment, the plant is getting the green color pattern. Understood now? Chloroplast. These are nothing but plastids. Okay, these are the types of plastids. Next, the second one, what do you mean by chromo? What do you mean by chromo? It is nothing but color. Okay, so in some plants we observe the orange color, yellow, red. Everything is because of the presence of these chromoplast cells. Okay, so here carotenoids and mainly xanthophyll. Okay, due to presence of these pigments, the plant is getting orange, yellow or red colored parts in the plant. Okay, so chromo means color. In a plant there will be presence of orange, yellow and red patterns or the parts in a plant, mainly because of the presence of these xanthophyll pigment. Okay, so these kind of xanthophyll pigments are present in the plants, which are giving the red, orange and green, I mean to say yellow color pattern to the plants. Okay, so this is nothing but all about your chromoplast. Now another category, that is leucoplast. Okay, this is colorless. Okay, it is a colorless pigment. Okay, mainly white, and its function mainly to provide the, or it acts as a storage material. Okay, it mainly helpful for the storage. Okay, it is mainly helpful for the storage purpose. So these leucoplasts are further divided into, very important, remember these leucoplasts, these are nothing but colorless pigments which are white in color and mainly helpful for the storage purpose. Okay, in that first one, amyloplast, second one okay, leucoplast mainly helpful for the storage purpose. So these are again further divided into amyloplast, elaioplast and ailuroplast. So amyloplasts are mainly helpful in storage of carbohydrates, that too more specifically starch. Can you give me an example? In vegetables and all, we observe these kind of storage pattern. Can you give me an example for that amyloplast, which stores the starch, which is essential for our body for the proper development, growth and everything? So can you tell me one example about amyloplast? Yeah, good. Yeah, example for this is potato. Okay, when we observe the potato, the fleshy part which is present white color, that is nothing but your starch content. Okay, so amyloplast is an example for the potato. Okay, next, what about elaioplast? What it stores? Okay, so elaioplast mainly stores fat and oil. Okay, it is the storage of fat and oil in a plant. Okay, so remember the elaioplast. Then what about ailuroplast? Nothing but protein. Okay, it is going to store the proteins in the plant. Understood? So remember, plastids are nothing but a membrane bound organelle which is mainly found in plants and some animals or organisms like Euglena. Okay, it is mainly found in plants, but it is also present in case of Euglena, but not in any other organism. Okay, so the coloration or the pigments which are present in the plant is mainly because of these plastids. Okay, based on their color pattern, again these plastids are divided into three categories. First one, chloroplast, and we know that the chlorophyll pigment is present in case of chloroplast, and the mesophyll cells which are helpful for the photosynthesis process, that is nothing but your chloroplast, and in that the chlorophyll pigment is there, and it is mainly helpful for the trapping of light energy. Okay, so it gives green color pattern. Carotenoid chlorophyll pigments are present in case of chloroplast. Next one is chromoplast. Chromo means color. Okay, so the plant parts are having red, green or yellow pattern, that is mainly because of the presence of these carotenes and xanthophyll pigments. Okay, remember these kind of name. Okay, it's very important. So in chromoplast these pigment, but in case of leucoplast these are the colorless pigments or cells which are present in the plants. Okay, these are white in color, and the main purpose of leucoplast is to store the food material. Either it may be in case of starch, or it may be in the form of protein, or it may be in the form of fat and oil, which are essential for the growth of an organism. Okay, so we all consume these in the form of vegetables. No, in the vegetables all these carbohydrates, proteins, everything will be enriched. Okay, so these leucoplasts, based on the storage, it is again divided into three main category, that is amyloplast, elaioplast and aleroplast. Amyloplast is nothing but carbohydrate which are going to store the starch, and elaioplast is nothing but fat or oil which is going to store the fat and oil, and next aleroplast which is going to store the protein products in the plant part. Understood? Understood? Okay, so shall we move further? Now we are going to study about the chloroplast structure. Okay, the detailed structure which are going to give the photosynthesis site for the plants. Okay, we are going to study about this now. Understood now? Shall I rub this one? Remember, these are very important, and remember the pigments, pigment name. And whenever when you see the coloration in case of plants, there will be presence of these kind of pigments. Because of the presence of these kind of pigments, the plant is getting color. Okay, understood now? So shall I rub this one? So this is the structure of chloroplast. It is a double membrane or membrane bound organelle which are present in the plants. Okay, and remember one thing, both mitochondria and chloroplast, it's having many more similarity. Okay, when we compare mitochondria and with this structure, there will be many similarity. Okay, try to remember that. Draw the diagram, and very important, try to understand. Okay, so this one will be your outer layer or outer membrane. This one will be your inner membrane, and this structure we called it as thylakoid, and this whole structure we call it as grana. Take down the diagram. It is nothing but here structure of chloroplast. So listen carefully, it is the structure of chloroplast, okay. It is looking like somewhat mitochondria, okay. So mitochondria will be having finger like projection, but here no finger like projection, that is the difference. So try to listen carefully. This is the structure of chloroplast. These structures are located in the mesophyll cells of the plants, okay. So try to listen carefully. This will be a outer membrane and this one will be a inner membrane, okay. These are the two layers and we call it chloroplast as a membrane bound organelle. So there will be presence of two layers, okay. I mean to say membranes. Outer one will be outer membrane and inside to that we call it as a inner membrane. And remember, in this the stalk like structures are present and that stalk like structure we call it as a grana, okay. We call it as grana. These are the structure which are going to trap the sunlight, okay, for the purpose of formation of or the process of photosynthesis. These are the structure which are going to absorb the sunlight, okay. Next, these are the stalk like structure, this one, okay. When we place a coin one by one, okay, there will be a stalk like structure, exactly the grana is looking like, okay. It is looking like a coins arranged one by one. So this is nothing but your grana, okay. And if we see only one, okay, if we observe only one, this structure we call it as a thylakoid, okay. Arrangement of thylakoid we call it as grana and only one structure we call it as a thylakoid, okay. And these two grana are connected one to another, so with the help of grana lamellae, okay, with the help of grana lamellae. And there will be presence of dense cytoplasm where all the chemical reaction or all the enzymatic reactions are going to take place. That structure or that dense cytoplasmic content we call it as a stroma. So what about in mitochondria, what we have called these kind of dense cytoplasm as? What we have called in case of mitochondria, these kind of dense cytoplasm, that we call as matrix, okay. There we have called these kind of dense cytoplasm as matrix, but in case of chloroplast we are going to call that dense cytoplasmic content as stroma, okay. So understood this one? Remember the outer layer and after the outer layer there will be presence of inner layer, and these stalk like structure which are arranged one by one we call it as grana, and this grana is attached with another grana with the help of grana lamellae, and here the presence of dense cytoplasmic content is present, that we call it as a stroma. And if we study about only one structure, one structure, that we call it as a thylakoid, okay. So in the stroma and in the thylakoid region there will be light and dark reaction is going to take place, which you are going to study in detail when you read about photosynthesis process. So to understand photosynthesis, where that photosynthesis is going to take place, where the light is trapping the energy, to understand that concept you should have this clear cut idea about plastids, okay. It is very important to study the photosynthesis reaction, in which part the dark reaction is going to take place or the light reaction is going to take place, and what are the significance of these structure in the presence in the chloroplast. Okay, so try to remember, it is very important. And apart from all this structure, there will be presence of single circular DNA. Okay, single circular DNA. Okay, single circular DNA. Understood? The structure of the chloroplast is very important. I will explain you once again. We have started with the plastid. Plastids are nothing but the cell or membrane bound organelle which are mainly found in the plant cells, and in organism the exception is euglenoids. In case of euglenoids we see the structure of plastids. Okay, so plastids are easily visible. Okay, it is easily visible, and based on the function it is or pigmentation, it is again divided into three structure. First one chloroplast, chromoplast and leucoplast. Chloroplast, which is very important because it is the side or the part which gives a green color to the plant because the presence of this chlorophyll. Okay, these are the carotenoids in which the chlorophyll pigment is going to play very important role. And next chromoplast, chroma means color. The plant is having different colors. All those coloration is because of the presence of xanthophyll. Next will be leucoplast. Leucoplast is very important because it is storing the food material, storing the nutrients, and it is colorless. Okay, it is a colorless and mainly helpful for storage. These again further divided into three category. Okay, three types. What are those? Amyloplast, elaioplast and aleroplast. Okay, which are going to store the carbohydrates, oil, fat and starch, and also starch is nothing but your carbohydrate and proteins. Okay, after that we have studied the detailed structure of chloroplast. Okay, which is present in mesophyll cells of the plant, and those cells are mainly helpful for the site where the photosynthesis process is going to occur. To understand that photosynthesis, you should have the clear cut idea about the structure of chloroplast. So in the structure of chloroplast, there will be outer layer, inner layer, and the grana is present. The stalk like structure, stalk like thylakoids are present, and if we study only one single cell, that we call it as a thylakoid. Okay, and the dense cytoplasm is present, and the that content we call it as a stroma in case of chloroplast, and that we call it in matrix in a mitochondria. And the presence of circular DNA is a similarity between mitochondria and these chloroplasts because both are having single circular DNA. Okay, understood? Understood now? So will any doubts? So we'll move to the next, that is ribosome. Okay, shall I rub this one? Have you taken down? Okay, take it. It's in the simplified version. Take it and read. Next cell organelle is the ribosomes. So tell me, what do you know about ribosomes? What we have called the ribosomes as? Very good. Okay, we are going to call the ribosomes as protein factory. Why? What is the reason? What is the reason? Reason ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಕುಂತ್ಬಿಡುದು. What do you mean by factory? Why factories are used? To produce the protein. Okay, in a factory there is no protein is produced, but the cloths and all the what we can say the products are produced in the factories. What about ribosomes? Ribosomes, we call it as protein factory. Protein factory of cell. Because in the cell these ribosomes are helpful for the production of proteins. Okay, these are mainly helpful for the production of protein, the protein which is necessary for all the organism to do the work or to proper functioning of the cell. These kind of ribosomes should be there, then only the cell will grow or they will the cell will produce all the necessary material required for the organism. So remember, ribosomes are called as protein factory of the cell because they are going to produce the proteins which are very essential for the organism. So tell me whether they are membrane bound organelles, whether they are membrane bound. Okay, good. They are not a membrane bound organelle. Remember, not a membrane bound . I have told you many times, remember, again don't get confused. Okay, it is not a membrane bound organelle because it is not having the double membrane structure, because it is mainly helpful in the production of proteins. So their structure will be different because it is doing very essential function. So it should have a special, what we can say, the structure. Okay, so it is not a membrane bound organelle. So tell me, while reading about endoplasmic reticulum, we have read about ribosomes. If the ribosomes are studied on the surface of endoplasmic reticulum, what we call it as? Very good. And what is the function of rough endoplasmic reticulum? Two, 3 days ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಕಲಿಸಿ ಮರ್ತು ಬಿಟ್ರಲ್ಲ. Mainly for the production of proteins. What about smooth endoplasmic reticulum? Whether we found ribosomes or no? Okay, and what is the function of smooth endoplasmic reticulum? Very good. To produce the lipids. Okay, so remember that ribosomes only we are going to study. So ribosomes are the dense, it is not a membrane bound organelle and it is a dense structure found in the cytoplasmic region of the cell. Okay, so tell me whether prokaryotes have the ribosomes. Prokaryotes have ribosome. Okay, while differentiating between prokaryotes and eukaryotes, we have read the similarity that both prokaryotes and eukaryotes have the ribosomes in it. Okay, both prokaryotes have ribosomes. Remember this, because both need proteins. Okay, even though there are no many cell organelles in prokaryotes, but prokaryotes also need proteins. So for that purpose the ribosomes are present in both prokaryotes and as well as in eukaryotes. So remember, in ribosomes there are two subunits. Okay, there are ribosomes have two subunits. What are those two subunits? What are those? So the two subunits are, this one will be large subunit and this will be small subunit. Okay, remember in the ribosomes are having two subunits. First one will be the large part, which we call it as a large subunit, and the smaller part, which we call it as a small subunits. Okay, so whenever there is a need for production of proteins, this is the mRNA which is having the message. Okay, so the large subunit comes and later the smaller subunit comes and they will be coding these and they will be producing the proteins. Okay, so like this many ribosomes comes and binds here in the mRNA, and that structure we call it as polyribosomes. Okay, polyribosomes. So I have told you know, in prokaryotes there will be presence of ribosomes and also in eukaryotes. So in prokaryotes there will be 70 S type, here 80 S type. Okay, that is 50 30 S, here 60 S and 40 S. Okay, S means sedimentation coefficient or SEDWORG, we call it as SEDWORG. Okay, so S means we call it as sedimentary coefficient or SEDWORG. SEDWORG unit or coefficient. Okay, and please remember, don't write it is 70 S, the large will be 50 plus what we can say 20. Don't do that. Okay, remember, don't do that. Don't make these or don't combine these two and write as 70 S. No, it is not the case, because 50 S is the, in case of prokaryotes this will be 50 S. Okay, and here 30 S ribosomes subunits will come and bind to the mRNA. So but in case of eukaryotes there will be 60 S and here the 40 S. Here also don't combine these and write it as 100. Okay, I am telling you, you people will do like this only. Don't combine all these and write it down as a 100. Remember, eukaryotes are having 80S type of ribosome. That 80S is further, the subunits are having 60 and 40. Okay, and in prokaryotes the sedimentary coefficient or SEDWORG coefficient will be 70S and that 70S will be 50 and 30S. Okay, understood? And these, here the mRNA comes and further translation occurs. With the help of translation process, protein is produced. It is all about. And tell me one thing, who found out ribosome? Who found out ribosome in the cell? It is by Palladay, George Palladay. Okay, remember the scientist name, George Palladay. And remember another very important term, that is ribonucleoprotein. So can you tell me what do you mean by ribonucleoproteins? What do you mean by ribonucleoproteins? RNA plus protein. Okay, ribosomes are the ribonucleoproteins. What does that mean? That means ribosomes are having the combination of RNA and protein. Okay, ribonucleoprotein, this is mainly said because of the RNA and protein combination which are going to form the ribonucleoprotein. So remember this one, very important. Ribosomes are the ribonucleoproteins. Okay, this is also one of the important concept. Okay, remember, I will explain you once again. Ribosomes are called as protein factory of the cell because they are mainly involved in the production of proteins. Why proteins? Proteins are very essential for the proper growth and development of an organism. Okay, so that to produce that protein, ribosomes playing very essential role in the cell. So these are the protein factory of a cell. So these are the dense structure which are present in the cytoplasm, and the ribosome structure was found by the George Palade. Okay, George Palade was the person who found out the ribosomes. So ribosomes are the ribonucleoproteins. What does that mean? Ribonucleoprotein means there is a presence of RNA and there is a presence of protein, that together we call it as a ribonucleoprotein. And another very important thing, that both prokaryotes and eukaryotes are having these ribosomes because both need protein. Because of that necessary, in prokaryotes as well as in eukaryotes there will be presence of the ribosomes in a cell. Okay, then the ribosomes, very important, are having the two subunits. Okay, that is small subunit and another one large subunit. In the large subunit, for example, in case of prokaryotes are having 70S type of ribosome. These are further divided and form the two subunits, that is large and small. The large one will be 50S and the smaller one will be 30S. And in case of eukaryotes, there will be presence of 80S type of what we can say ribosome. That will be further divided into the large, that is 60S, and the smaller one will be 40S type of ribosome, and where S stands for sedimentary coefficient or Sedgwick unit. Okay, understood? Remember the scientist name. Remember the structure is very unique here because they need to produce the or synthesize the protein with the help of translation process. Okay, understood? Is there any difficulty? Okay. Understood, no? So shall we move further? Okay, the next one will be cytoskeleton. Okay, it is very small structure which are found in the cell, that we call it as a cytoskeleton. Shall I rub this one? Understood, no? Why we call it as a protein factory? Everything you should have a clear cut idea. And remember, it is not a membrane bound organelle. I am telling you again and again, and you people will make mistake here. Okay, telling that no, it is a membrane bound organelle. It is not a membrane bound organelle. Try to remember that. Okay. So the next structure which is found in the cell is cytoskeleton. So what do you mean by cytoskeleton? What do you mean by cytoskeleton? So let it be. Tell me, what do you mean by skeleton? We have skeleton or no? We have, no? Why we have skeleton? ಯಾರು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಂಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸ್ಕೆಲಿಟನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅರ್ಥ. So remember cytoskeleton. What do you mean by cyto? Cytoplasmic region. Okay, cyto means cytoplasmic region. Okay, cytoplasmic region. What do you mean by skeleton? It is a structure, okay, or it is nothing but a protein only which are present in the cell for the purpose of to provide the cell to a definite shape. Okay, so due to presence of these skeletal, okay, due to presence of these skeletal, the cell is having proper shape. Okay, this is very what we can say, if it is a cell, there will be presence of these kind of network like structure, okay, which is providing the proper structure so that the cell should have a definite structure to the cell. Okay, it is providing a proper shape, proper structure for the cell. Okay, so remember cytoskeleton are nothing but these are the network like structure. Okay, these are the network like structure present in the cell, and the function of these cytoskeleton to provide the shape to the cell and also structure to the cell. Okay, this is the main important factor about cytoskeleton, and these cytoskeleton are nothing but these are protein only, and they are made up of microtubule, microfilament, and intermediate filament and intermediate filament. Understood? And the function to provide the structure, to provide the motility to the cell and mechanical support to the cell. How our skeleton gives the proper shape and also it provides the structure, mechanical support to our body, like that the presence of cytoskeleton, which is a long filamentous like structure present in the network like structure present in the cell, it is mainly made up of the proteins, that is nothing but microtubulin, microfilament and intermediate filaments. Okay, and microtubule is obviously made up of tubulin, protein, okay, actin protein, like that the proteins will be there. So try to remember cytoskeletons are nothing but the network like structure which is elongated elaborated network like structure present in the cell, which are giving the proper structure, proper mechanical support and also the mobility for the cell. Okay, remember this, and also the function and the structure. It is a small structure which is present in the cell, and but it is helping for the cell to provide a shape, structure and everything. So try to remember this. Understood? Is there any doubts? So today we have dealt with first organelle, that is plastids, very important. Okay, and next we have studied about ribosome, that is also very important, and next we have studied the small part which is present in the cell, that is cytoskeleton, which is providing the proper shape and mobility, mechanical support to the cell. Okay, we have finished these three things in today's session and we will meet you in tomorrow's session. Thank you.